Welcome to In Early, the crypto podcast, where I speak to those at the forefront of the digital asset space, telling real-life stories, discussing the growth and growing pains of the industry, and exploring how blockchain technology has made an impact on people's lives. My name is Matt Green, and I'm the blockchain litigation lead at Shoesmiths. This episode features Amit Rathore, the founder and CEO of the Football Fan app, which looks to disrupt the football industry with Web3 and provide genuine, long-term engagement between real fans and clubs. We talk about his journey, listing the fan coin, and how the app provides users with confidence, as well as key partnerships, his long-term vision of Web3, and how sport interacts. Amit, so welcome.
Thank you, Matt.
Appreciate you coming down to London today.
Pleasure to be here, actually.
So before we talk about Football Fan, let's talk a little bit about you and your background. So you've been a solutions architect for some of the major traditional financial guys.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
So solutions architect. So I worked with a lot of banks, actually. So more than 10 years in that role of solution architect or a senior solution architect. So by the name itself, you can make out that you need to find a solution for some problems that the financial institutions have. Those problems can be related to regulatory environment, it can be payments related, it can be some technology related, or some new concept or new feature that the banks are introducing to the customers. So the solution architect role is very similar to a normal buildings architect. So you have to find the problem, you find a solution for that, you need to do a lot of documentation in order to pass through various different gates at the banks.
Mm-hmm.
The bigger the bank, the more gates it is,
yeah,
the more stringent.
Yeah.
Obviously, being a solution for a financial institution, you have to pass through various security gates as well, regulatory gates as well, and make sure it is something for the customers. So, as a solution architect, he's the one who kinds of finds the solution, works with various different stakeholders in the bank, and comes up with the solutions for those problems, including various different blueprints, various different architecture.
So you got the job done. So they said we want to start here and we want to end up here. Amit, you go and find out how we go along that journey.
Absolutely. And that solution architect is kind of the fulcrum for everything that goes around, including till the time that solution is being implemented. Mm-hmm. Sometimes when the solution is being implemented, usually in banks it happens overnight, sometimes during holidays, bank holidays and all those kind of things. So the solution architect sometimes needs to be there just in case if something goes wrong. Those implementation team members, they will come and consult the architect.
So is it a technical background then? Is that where
it is highly technical, and it's a natural progression. If somebody comes and says that, okay, I've gone and done a degree of solution architecture.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you can do a degree in solution architecture?
I haven't come across. But let's say some university or college comes up with this kind of a degree. I don't believe that architect will be well equipped with all the knowledge and experience, because it's a process. You start as a developer, you progress, you become a technical architect,
right? You
become solution architect. So it's a progress. It's a process.
And I ask this to most people who come on: is this how you got into blockchain? Because it's either from a financial background, from a tech background. It sounds like yours is a little bit of both. Is this how you got into this space?
Interesting question, actually, because. Yes, I heard about this blockchain and all while I was working with the banks, and started exploring what it is exactly. So banks were still exploring cloud computing at that time, and then suddenly blockchain came up, and so I thought, okay, let's explore whether there may be an opportunity for me to propose a solution which is a blockchain based solution.
So you would have been the guy who would have been like, let's not do the traditional way. Let's utilize blockchain tech.
Absolutely.
And that was your role, to think about ways to get from A to B, and you were just considering using blockchain tech.
Absolutely. So
right.
that's one of the things what solution architect does. Right. He proposes that, okay, we should be using X technology, Y technology, or whatever it is, in order to meet the requirements.
So were there projects then that you implemented blockchain tech into and then thought, actually, this idea has got some legs. I want to remove myself from the traditional banking environment and then start my own thing?
Well, I've been trying to, have my own business since 2007, 8 onwards. That was the whole idea, because of, you need to pay your bills. There are some liabilities on you. So you always do this kind of, your passion is always a side gig in the beginning.
Yeah.
Then from side gig, it becomes the main thing. So yes, when I explored blockchain, I said, okay, hang on. A lot of people are talking about blockchain on YouTube, on various different websites and all. But I don't think so that is the right way to learn, because these people, you can't trust those YouTubers in the sense. I mean, there are some really, really, really good YouTubers out there.
This is going to go on YouTube, by the way. So it's going to...
Yeah. So what I did is that let's go and learn it from the experts.
Okay.
And who is the best expert here in the UK? Oxford University. There's nothing better than Oxford University in the UK. So I enrolled myself at Oxford University for decentralized technology program. And I was there in that program and learned it from them.
So what was the course on? Was it the technical aspects of how it works, or?
So the course, I mean, it was kind of a course. So it starts from the basics of blockchain.
Okay, fine.
What blockchain is all about, what are the use cases where it can be used, how the whole technology works,
Right.
and what are the core pieces that runs that technology and how it is being used today, and what are the other use cases that can be implemented on top of this. Right. So I learned from them. I have a certificate or whatever you call it as a degree. From them, and it's good. It's good to learn from experts, and there were some top-notch people who were training us on those things.
And that's sort of the academic side, the practical side, because there's a difference. And we had an academic on this last year, Brian, and he was talking about sometimes there's a bit of disparity between academics and the real world application.
Oh yes.
So how did you find that? And I want to come on to Football Fan in a minute, because this sounds like a journey whereby you started in traditional finance, you took yourself to Oxford to teach yourself about it, and then you're now off on your own journey doing Football Fan. So how did we get there?
So when I started on Football Fan app, we wanted to incentivize our user base. And what is the best way to incentivize them? So we were exploring various different ideas. We explored something called as Air Miles, which is Avios points, basically. So you can buy Avios points in bulk and then give it to anyone you like.
Like loyalty points?
Loyalty points, yeah. There are Tesco Club Card points. There are Morrison's and everything, Nectar points and all those kind of things. But that's not exciting. That's not exciting. You go to Boots today, you get a Boots loyalty card, and then you shop at Boots and you get something free. You go to Starbucks, it happens the same. So we thought, okay, let's do something different with it. And that's where, we thought, okay, let's leverage blockchain as a technology, because when our user base will collect those loyalty points or whatever we call them at that point of time, we won't be able to, change that. We won't be able to tamper it, because it will go on the blockchain. Those points or those things are theirs. They can
control those points, right? It was a way. Was it like a points management system that you thought was the best way to deal with it, or what?
No, I would say it brings more credibility. It brings more assurance to the collectors.
Okay.
That I have got something which actually the company who gave it to me, even they can't touch it.
Right. Okay.
So they are mine. I can do whatever I want with it.
Okay.
So that's the kind of idea we started with. So that's the reason I wanted to, leverage blockchain as a technology for Football Fan app.
Right. And let's take the minute to go through what the Football Fan app is. So what is it? Why did you set it up? Tell me about it.
Yeah. So I always love to talk about Football Fan app. Actually, we wanted to create a sports fan. But when we did some more digging around, so I took almost 18 months to do research on various different sports, because I'm not an expert in every sport. So I love football. I have played a lot of football in my younger days. I play still, respecting my age, 5-a-side, 6-a-side kind of football. So we wanted to make sports fan. But when I did some more research, it was very difficult to cover every sport. There are so many sports in the world. There are, ball sports, there are racket sports, there are water sports, motor sports, winter sports. It's very difficult to cover.
Yeah.
Even companies like Sky, for example, they sometimes struggle to cover all the sports. And who are we to, cover all the sports? So we narrowed it down to football. And the reason was that there are around 8 billion people in the world. Out of those 8 billion people, 5 billion people follow football in some shape or form, according to FIFA.
Okay.
Biggest fan base. the biggest sport in the world, whether it's Africa, what's the prime sport? Football. South America, football. It's a European sport. Middle East, football. Far East, Japan, Korea, football. Emerging markets like China, the US. The US is massive in football now. India, for example, 1.4 billion people. The reason we started on Football Fan was just because of the scalability, the passion that the fans have. I haven't come across any fan base who is as passionate as football fans. Whether whether their team is winning or losing, a manager is getting sacked, or new players being signed, or what's happening with the wives and girlfriends. There is so much action that happens, not only around football games but outside those games as well. At the same time, it's not a seasonal sport. It goes around 12 months. There's something every day, and fans like to express themselves.
Yeah,
there are opinions. Everybody has an opinion.
So what does the app look like? What does it do? What does it allow people to do? So if you didn't exist, what would people miss?
Well, people still do all those opinion sharing, expressing themselves on various different social media platforms, but it's all fragmented.
So this is a unified way to, I suppose, assimilate all of those opinions and put it into one place, so people can engage, integrate with each other, and find a way to interact.
So yeah, that's one of the mottos that we have. But it's a social media app for football, dedicated for football. So it's a place where like-minded people, like-minded football fans, players, clubs, teams, even brands can be there on the platform, can post various different types of content. That content can be video, photos. Even this podcast can go on to Football Fan app. It can be, normal text messages. Users can create chat rooms themselves. So it's all about user-generated content.
Right. Okay.
Social media platform. You can call it as an Instagram of football, or a Facebook of football, or a Twitter of football.
Okay.
Where like-minded people come and connect and share information. They engage with all that information that is shared, and everybody on that platform is a fan of football. It's not like generic social media platforms that you find everyone over there. I'll give you one more example. You are an expert in law, for example. Yeah, I mean, you are not an example. You are an expert in law, and there is a platform where all the law professionals around the world are there, sharing information with each other. Various different geographies, countries, various different
lawyers
laws.
in a massive room. I don't think anybody would want to go to that.
No, not in a room, on a platform,
virtual room,
on a virtual room. And it's not just chat room I'm talking about. It's like various other information. You have got LinkedIn, where you've got everything over there. All the lawyers are there on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about a dedicated space for lawyers only.
Right.
Where they share opportunities, where they share new regulations, laws which are being, coming up in various different countries. You would like to be there because you speak same language over there. So it's very similar to that. And if you notice, youngsters, they are not there on Facebook. Yeah. So like my older son, he's not there on Facebook or Instagram. He's there on Snapchat. Yeah. And so things change every 10, 15 years. Facebook is more mums and dads.
Certainly is now.
Platform now.
Yeah.
Very soon from Instagram, if you see, a lot of people have written about it, that it's more about, fake photography, in the sense people are always looking to get more eyeballs, more likes, those kind of things. There is a lot of clickbait that happens. So we are trying to give a dedicated space which is very honest, which is very, very real to the fans.
So it's not as superficial. It's sort of like a grassroots or at least very legitimate place where football fans can come and mingle with each other.
Yes, that's one aspect of it. But you can
content creation, all that sort of stuff.
Yes.
So my understanding is it is all about engagement. I took a quote from your website. So it says, Football Fan is a leading Web3 social football app providing football fans and clubs around the globe with a completely new way of connecting, engaging, and interacting. Yeah. How do you encourage engagement between fans and football?
Yes. So see, it's very difficult to bring anyone on a new platform these days. Yeah, people, it's like changing your habits. People don't change their habits so easily. Yeah, it'll take time. It takes time always. And if you notice, it happens with everything that we do. I mean, where do we keep our towels every day? It needs to be there every day. If you change the space, then you don't find them where they are. So it's like changing habits. How do you change habit? You need to incentivize someone. Yeah, even youngsters, when you ask them to come and clean my car, they'll say, okay, Dad, what am I getting out of it? So they are expecting some incentive. out of it. It can be a £1, it can be £2, whatever, but they are expecting some incentive.
Yeah.
My younger one, if I score a goal, will I get a lolly? So, okay, fine, if you want to do that.
Yeah.
So we incentivize our user base for every activity they do on the platform.
So it's incentivizing engagement in that respect. If you do something, you're going to get a reward for it.
Yes, and it's about incentivizing their efforts. That's what Web3 is all about.
Okay.
So we incentivize every effort, the time that you spend on the app. We incentivize you with our own digital currency. We call it as fan coin. So you collect fan coin as you go along. You spend more time on it, you collect more fan coin.
So give me an example of how you would collect the fan coin. Is it if I publish something, I get 1? If I comment on something, I get 2? Is there like a sort of rules?
Yeah, there is an algorithm that runs, and we also keep learning about how users are behaving, because there are some people who try to manipulate those algorithms. So what we do is that, let's say you sign up, you collect 50 fan coin as a sign up reward. When you post any content, you collect fan coin. Let's say you post a video, you collect 5 fan coin. You post a photo, you collect 1 fan coin. You create a chat room, and let's say 50 people join that chat room, you collect 10 fan coin or something like that. That's the reason we encourage people to, not duplicate existing rooms. Try to create more interesting rooms so that, more and more people join those rooms.
What stops people gamifying it though? Because you could have a really good chat room, and then all of a sudden people, I've set up a new one. You get all these coins, and then you can.
So we monitor everything.
Okay.
So we monitor everything. We moderate everything on the app. At the same time, when you collect fan coin, when they try to redeem them, or when they come and place a request to transfer them, we actually go through everything that they have done this ethically, and not just use something to manipulate the system.
And the fan coins, I think we're going to come to the fan coins in more detail, but is it a matter of that they stay within the environment, within the app, or is it that they can be traded openly now?
Yeah. So there are two things. We call them as local fan coin and a crypto fan coin.
Okay. Let's talk about the internal one first.
The internal one first.
Yeah.
So local fan coin, when you engage or when you post any content, even for referrals, for example, if I invite you to the app with my referral code and you sign up, I get 10 fan coin, you get 10 fan coin. So we both are incentivized in that way. So when you collect those fan coin, they will stay on the app. And as soon as, let's say, you place a request to transfer them, all we do is that we transfer your fan coin from the app over to an exchange. So we partnered with one of the exchanges. They deal with that cryptocurrency side of it, and users can actually go and exchange those fan coin into, let's say, USDT, or if they want, they can cash out as well on that exchange.
But let's talk about when we're in the app. So, and I suppose this sort of leads to some extent to the question is fans can buy equity, they can buy NFTs, videos. Is that how it works? You collect fan coins, and then what do you do with them within the app? What can you? How are they helpful?
So there are 3 things that they can do at this point of time with the fan coin when you collect those fan coin. So number 1, they can convert their content which they are posting into NFTs and trade them on the platform.
So you can collect collectibles, digital collectibles.
Digital collectibles.
Yeah, okay,
That's one, number 1.
Yep.
Number 2, they can redeem those fan coin against thousands of products that are there on the app. So there are products from over 200 brands on the app, including products from Apple, Samsung, Nike.
Oh, so they come in as a third party. They say, we will sponsor you, or whatever the right terminology is, whatever your agreement is. Okay, so there's real world utility.
There is a very strong utility behind it. So that was the whole idea behind creating that fan coin. So fan coin is not just another token or another blockchain-based token or a cryptocurrency or anything like that. There are 22,000 odd different tokens out there. So if we add one more, what's the value addition?
That's why I wanted to ask that question, because, and we started the conversation with you talking about sort of loyalty cards, and it sounds as though that's part of it, right? If you collect enough tokens or points, then you can redeem them against things that you want. So it may well be, as you say, collectibles. It could be Apple products, whatever it is, right? That's
yes. So if you are, let's say, Manchester United fan, or you're Liverpool, Chelsea, even Leeds United fan, you can buy shirts from the app and you get some cash back when you redeem your fan coin holdings.
Right. So you have deals.
These are all official merchandise.
Right. Okay. So you struck deals with all these third parties.
We struck deals with the supplier who supplies to all these clubs.
Right. Okay. Because my question was going to be, why would anybody seek to engage with a Web3 company like yours when they can go direct to their club and they can buy merchandise from there?
Yes, you can buy let's say Chelsea shirt at 10 different places. You can even buy a counterfeit from the shop. If you go to Stamford Bridge, You'll find a lot of shops on the roadside where you can buy them. So, but what we are trying to do is that we are giving an ecosystem to the users where they can actually redeem this fan coin and get something which is valuable to them, something really tangible. And these are all official products. These are not counterfeit.
Yeah. And let's talk about, because it is football, but it's not just Premier League football. It's all levels of football.
See, football is for everyone.
Yeah.
So we even work with some grassroots clubs. In fact, in the beginning, we worked with a lot of them.
Yeah.
So we have got live score as well on the app, by the way. So we cover up to 60 years of English football. We cover live score, commentary, statistics, in-game events. You get notifications. There are statistics up to 12 to 13 years on the app. You get head-to-head between two, who is playing the game today, who is sitting on the bench.
So you could, instead of going your BBC app and you sort of follow it on your phone, you can do it through your app.
Yes, you can do that. And we also cover some European leagues as well, like La Liga, Bundesliga, Serie A, and League One, the French league as well. And we cover Europa League, Champions League, Euros, World Cup, Nations League.
Right.
So we cover Scottish League as well.
Is it a matter then that if I wanted to follow my local club, that I could follow them through your app?
Yes, you can. As far as they are in that 6th tier up to in English football.
Okay, so it's absolutely not just about Premier League. You've broadened it to allow people who are not following that to actually follow their own clubs locally. That's the idea.
Yes, that's the whole idea. And sometimes people think that, especially in England, everybody knows that there are everyone follows a
their
club.
Local clubs.
Yeah, everyone follows a club. There are almost 600 clubs registered with FA in England. Yeah, so whereas a foreigner, like I grew up in India. I did not know that there were so many clubs. All I knew was Manchester United when I was growing up. Because when I was growing up in the newspapers, there used to be a very small article at the back about Manchester United winning this or that. I didn't even know that Manchester was a city back then. Yeah. So living and growing in that part of the world, you don't realize that football is not just about top 6 clubs. Football is actually massive. Massive, and every human being, in England at least, they are following some other club.
So I guess your background to some extent in India and the idea that you weren't necessarily familiar with the structures has come forward in your thinking of this app on the basis that you want to make sure that all levels are represented.
Yes, yeah, and have a look at it. So. Very interestingly, let's say someone like me who's growing up in India now in this day and age, they have got so many platforms available to connect with people around the world. Back in those days, it wasn't there. But at the same time, if you want to speak to a Manchester United fan living in Manchester, how do you do that? That our app can help that.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So you can be in China, you can be in India, you can be in Vietnam, you can be in Indonesia.
It gives access to all these clubs in jurisdictions that wouldn't necessarily traditionally have that following or wouldn't have access to that following.
Yes. That's one of the things. So you can connect with, and again, we are talking about like-minded people. We're trying to avoid any scamsters.
Yeah.
So
well, then we're going to come on to that sort of stuff in a bit.
So we don't share any private information.
Yeah.
And at the same time, we don't take all those information. When you sign up, we just say, okay, what's your email address? What's your phone number? Again, phone number if you want to. And people usually give fake numbers and fake email addresses at times.
Can't stop people doing that. I appreciate that. I just want to touch on this because it's something that when we met, however many years ago, it was a question that I asked you originally, which was, you have Socios and you have Chili's and the whole history with sports. How does Football Fan differ from that? And the answer may well be clear, but I think it's worth hearing from you because people understand that there's lots of interactions between crypto and blockchain and sport, and there's been successes and failures. So how is the app different to those and what does it look like?
First of all, Socios, if you take an example of them, they go to brands and they create fan tokens for them. So they came to Arsenal, they said, okay, we'll create an Arsenal fan token. For Man City, they created a fan token. And all those. So we are not in that business of creating fan tokens for others. So we are not into, that.
You have your own fan token. It's not the Arsenal fan token and you'll do, I suppose, the technical bits in the background, you just have yours. That's it.
So ours is not a fan, it's not called fan token, it's called fan coin. and we've got all the IP rights, intellectual property for that. We also have trademark for that and all those things. So we are, first of all, not in that business that we go and create tokens for brands. Number one. Secondly, we are not in a business where we say, okay, XYZ Club, we'll create a token for you and you can sell it, or we'll help you selling that, and then the token holders can do certain things in the club. So we are not into that business. However, the fan coin can be taken up by any club, can be distributed to their fans, but we give utility not only at the club, on our app as well. So it's a bigger ecosystem. So not just restricting to one brand or
it's not your Arsenal coin and you can only deal with it in the Arsenal, I don't know, ecosphere. This is a fan coin that can be used across your platform and across potentially other platforms as well, and redeemed for real world goods.
Absolutely. I'll come on to that point again, that why it can be redeemed at various different places. So see, now coming back to that Socio stuff. Now let's say Arsenal fan token has been created. If you are a Tottenham fan, you will never buy that token.
Yes.
And Arsenal fans are there in millions, let's say, around the world, but not everybody is an Arsenal fan in the world. Yeah. So the demand of those tokens will not be as high.
It's limited at least.
It's limited. Yeah. It's limited demand. Yes, there will be some traders who might try to, get in and make some quick money here and there. But the demand for those tokens will not be there much. Same with Barcelona. Let's say there's a Barca token and Real Madrid fans will not buy it. Same the other way around as well. At the same time, the token holders are allowed to do some voting and other things, which they have claimed that the voting can be done, etc. Things like what song to be played in the stadium when your team scores.
Even the ownership of clubs, I think I've heard people say that they have rights to determine ownership of specific clubs. I mean, whether that's true or not, I don't know.
I don't believe that because clubs.
It's not up to them.
There are some important decisions to be made at the clubs, which I'm not sure if they will leave those decisions to the fans.
But something like a song, I understand that.
Song, the color of the bus, but are they important things? Okay, the color of the bus is something different. Is that really important for me as a fan? Yeah. Because most of the time I don't see that bus. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. That's very fair.
Yeah. So and at the same time, if you look at it, the price of those fan tokens have gone significantly down by more than 40% ever since they've.
Well, that's when you put it on the open market, and that's when you can have all types of scams and people's confidence in these tokens falls.
Yes.
I guess if you keep it within your ecosphere to some extent, like you're describing, then it doesn't really matter what its value is versus fiat. Yeah. It's about how much that token is being used by fans across the world.
Yes.
You don't have to sort of integrate it out and have a fiat value.
Yeah, and at the same time, if you see if a fan coin is there, fan coin can be used by Barcelona fans, can be used by Arsenal fans, can be used by City fans, can be used by whoever you want. Yeah, so it creates that ecosystem, and the demand will always be higher compared to individual tokens, and the value will always be there for those fan coin.
So fan coin in terms of, we spoke about it being internal. Now let's talk about the fan coin that sort of goes into the real world that can be exchanged at exchanges. What rights does it carry? Why? How does it work?
Yeah. So first of all, I'll talk about how does it work. So you collect fan coin by doing various things on the app.
Yeah, as we say. Yeah.
You can redeem it on the app if you want.
Yeah.
You don't have to take it onto an exchange. But let's say if you want to take it on an exchange, you place a request with us. We ask the user to create an account on that exchange first, because that you have to go through a due diligence
KYC
process.
The exchange has to list you. They have to choose to list you.
Yes.
All that stuff.
Well, that's on our side, but even for the customers, let's say you go in and create an account on any of the exchanges. They take you through a due diligence process.
Yep.
With your identification document and with your KYC and all those things, AML checks, all those things happen. So we ensure that once you have created your account, when you get your wallet address on that account, we understand that it is a legitimate wallet address.
Because you rely on that third party.
Because we are working, our token or our coin is listed on their exchange. Then they come and tell us, okay, I want to transfer my fan coin from the app over to this wallet address on the exchange. Then we do a thorough checks whether this has been collected ethically or not, and then we make the transfer if everything is fine.
So it's not an automatic process.
No, it is not. It is not an automatic.
Checks and balances that go through to make sure that when it leaves your ecosystem, that it's doing so in a legitimate way.
Yes, and at the same time, we could have done it automated as well. I mean, on just
A lot of people do it automatically.
On a click of button, we could have done that, but then it involves lot of frauds. Lot of people will try to do a lot of unethical things.
Well, before we started this conversation, when we were sort of having our preamble before we recorded, you were saying that you're here for the long term. You want to be based in a jurisdiction that is legitimate, and I think that comes through when you speak. It's not about sort of making some quick money. It's about actually having longevity and figuring out sort of regulatory landscape, etc.
Absolutely.
And on that basis, so I suppose let's just sort of return to the journey of this coin, right? So then it goes on to an exchange. Mm-hmm. What happens then, or what are people allowed to do with this coin? Does it have a fiat value?
Yeah, so it does have a fiat value. So it is trading at the moment a half a penny.
Okay.
As of today, and users, once they are there on an exchange, they can convert it into USDT, which is the stable coin, or they can just keep it on the exchange for the value to go up. Or they can, obviously, once you convert it into USDT, you can cash it out into euros.
Once it goes out of the ecosystem.
Yeah, euros exactly, euros or USD or GBP or whatever they want to do. Mm-hmm. But it's up to them. The decision is all theirs. We don't interfere in any of this.
Could you go to an exchange then and buy one of your tokens outside of your ecosystem?
Yes, you can.
As well. Okay.
Yes, you can buy from the exchange as well. But we don't allow that to be there on our app. There is a process. You have a wallet address on the app. You have a wallet address on the exchange. If you want to transfer, it's your decision. You want to transfer on the app, but you do that on the exchange.
So you can't buy. So if you're on an exchange, you can't buy fan token and then reintegrate it back into the system. Once it's out, it's out.
Not fan token, fan coin.
Fan coin. Sorry. Yeah.
No, you can buy. So to sum it up, so you can buy fan coin on an exchange.
Yep.
And you can bring them on the app as well.
Yep.
But it's a transfer process. So wallet to wallet.
Yep.
So your wallet address on the app, your wallet address on the exchange. Mm-hmm. From that exchange, you say, okay, I want to transfer my fan coin from this wallet address to my app wallet address. So you can do that.
Right. Okay.
But that transfer and all those things are taken care by the exchange.
By the third party.
Yeah.
So who are you listed with? Because I know that people who try and develop coins, a big moment in their life is getting listed by an exchange.
Yeah.
So tell me who you're listed with. What did the journey look like for you to get listed?
Yeah. So it was quite a tough journey, to be very honest with you.
Yeah.
And we spoke to almost 80 different exchanges, 80. And we realized that all these exchanges are looking for, quick listing fee or something like that.
It's money.
Sometimes the listing fee has gone into millions of dollars. Yeah. So we can't afford that. And at the same time, we are not into that coin business. We are a platform. We are allowing fans and users to get incentivized on our app and then do something with those incentives. So that's our last jigsaw in the whole puzzle. Mm-hmm. So we then spoke with all these exchanges. There are some big exchanges, small exchanges, and finally we finalized one exchange. It is named as P2P B2B. So P2P B2B is there. .com is there URL, and Fancoin is known as FNC. The ticker is FNC over there. So people can go over there, create an account, and can find Fancoin or FNC over there. So we are only there on one exchange as of now, and they are very good exchange. They work very closely with us, and they actually support startups like us.
Is that their whole operation, to try and find sort of smaller coins that aren't necessarily mainstream, go through the process of understanding their legitimacy and what they do, and then giving them a platform to then sell?
Yeah. See. One of the key thing is that I like to do business in a very traditional way. In the sense, I like to have face-to-face interaction, or at least to a minimum a video call. Majority of these exchanges wants to talk to you on Telegram.
Yeah.
I don't have an account on Telegram.
Yeah.
So we do have a corporate account on Telegram, but I personally don't have an account there.
If you want to get spammed a lot, go on Telegram.
Exactly. So why would you do a multi-million pound deal? If you're saying, if the exchange is saying that we are a multi-million pound, billion pound.
You want to see a human being if you're going to commit to a lot of money.
You want to meet them. You want to see them face to face. Why would you like to do a deal on Telegram with anyone?
Without giving names away then, did you feel as though that some of the larger exchanges operated like that? Or was there a trend?
They do.
That's really
the first thing they do is, let's talk on Telegram. Why on Telegram? Why? I'm ready to fly over wherever you are. I'll come.
You're willing to make the commitment.
Yes. Let's sit down in a room. Let's talk. And we are not and majority of the times, people who are shortlisting your projects, they don't have enough experience. They are majority of the times interns.
Well, they may argue back and say, well, actually, we get so many inquiries, we have to figure out a way to whittle them down.
But that becomes the most important process in the whole thing, isn't it? So you shortlist the right projects, put senior people on it for shortlisting it, understand the whole project, talk to the founders, talk to the team, understand what their project is all about, and then shortlist it. You don't regret later that you have, onboarded some bad coins or whatever. And then you say, okay, my exchange reputation has gone down just because we have onboarded some 100 bad tokens or coins on our platform. So that selection process is very important. So this exchange, they were very happy to speak to us. We spoke to their founder as well, their CEO as well. They are based in Spain. We wanted to go and meet them as well. They were more than happy to.
You flew out and saw them?
We did not actually. We did not, but it was a comfort zone.
See them on the
screen. We could see, and
that's better than most.
We even talked to them face to face on video calls even now.
Okay, nice.
And so that was the reason why we chose them. And they are a mid-range exchange. They are not like bottom or they are not top ones. They are a mid-range exchange. So
what advice would you give to people then who are looking to list coins that are integrated with apps similar to yours, or where there's longevity, where it's not about making a quick bit of money, but it's actually trying to get through the listing process? Is there any advice?
So there are a lot of things that I can advise actually, but to keep the
in a nutshell, I think
in a nutshell, I would recommend them to speak to people. There are a lot of scams happening.
Yeah, I bet.
I get approached on LinkedIn on a regular basis by people saying that we are from Binance. And we are more than happy to onboard your coin on our platform. So the first thing I say that, okay, send an email from your official email address to our official email address with your proposal.
Yeah.
And a lot of exchanges on their websites, they have identity verification process. Sometimes even the identities are verified over there. And the emails that they send are scam emails actually. So it's kind of scam alert.
You have to be very careful.
Very careful.
URLs and email addresses.
Yes, and they will say that we don't. We are not going to charge you any listing fee, but we'll take a deposit from you, which will refund back to you when you're.
Yeah, I promise to return it.
Yeah. And that deposit will be in USDT or something like that.
Nice, something nice and stable for you to get comfortable with.
Yeah. So first of all, so those are some red flags in my opinion. In fact, last week itself, one of the guys approached us and he said he's from KuCoin, and so I said, okay, send an official email from your official email address to our official email address. The email came, went to spam directly. I asked the support team, did you receive? And this guy was chasing me, did you receive my email, etc. So I asked my support team, can you just check and let me know if there is any email? There was one in the spam. They showed a screenshot to me, some random domain name. I said, it is a scam alert on LinkedIn. This guy immediately blocked me.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
So immediately. So
well, he tried it, right? He gave it a go.
Yeah.
And this happens a lot. I mean, I get emails from exchanges pretending that my account's blocked, and then you just see who it's from, and it's completely not legit. But I guess it's a difficult journey, and you are in amongst an environment whereby there are a lot of people who are chancers, and it's probably quite difficult and frustrating.
It is, and it's very unfortunate for people who have fallen into this kind of traps. So we are talking about listing the token or listing the coin, but then there are people who have shared their private keys, wallet addresses. Wallet address is fine, but then there are private keys and all. And there are some sophisticated scamsters out there. You have to be very careful. Just imagine that how careful will you be with your bank accounts? You have to be as careful with your wallet addresses and with your all other things.
Just talking about sort of confidence and scams to some extent, I mean, how do you give users confidence in your coin, especially when there aren't necessarily regulations and I suppose that the FCA authorizations may not be relevant? How do people obtain confidence in your project and in your coin?
Yeah. So if you remember, I said we are not one of those 22,000 odd tokens or coins out there. we are trying to create a value for that. And we incorporated the company in April 2019, but we did not launch our coin until November of 2022, sorry. November of 2022. We wanted to launch it on an exchange alongside Football World Cup. And the reason was we were busy creating the platform. We are not a Telegram community. We are not a Twitter community. We are not a Discord community. We are a platform. We are like Facebook. We are like Instagram. We are like Twitter. We are like TikTok. We are a platform ourselves. So we invested and spent a lot of time creating the platform. And this fan coin is on top of that, incentivizing the users. So it has a very strong utility behind it. You can buy a Costa Coffee. You can buy an iPhone. You get 10% off from Apple when you redeem your fan coin. That's our algorithm, how we do it. Yeah. But on our platform, Apple gives 10% off. You can buy an official jersey of Barcelona or even PSG or even Man United.
Yeah.
You can go and exchange it. You can create NFT. So there is a strong utility for that fan coin. It's not just one of those, random Shiba Inu coin or dog coin. What's the value with it?
Where the value of it is literally the coin. You're saying the value of your coin is backed by the app itself, all the goodwill that's been put into it. And the value isn't necessarily in the coin itself. That's just part of the bigger project.
Yes. And see, one of the important things, FCA regulations. See, we could have incorporated our company anywhere. In the sense, we could have gone to Dubai, we could have gone to Malta, we could have gone to Gibraltar, Switzerland. Even Germany is very, very pro now. But we did not want to do it. We wanted to do it from the UK. We want our company to be headquartered here in the UK. That's the reason our company is incorporated here in England. And FCA regulations, people from outside England, FCA is Financial Conduct Authority, the regulatory body in the UK. So FCA regulations are coming. So we have applied for FCA registration. The process is going on right now. It takes time. When it comes to regulatory body,
always takes time.
It always takes time with it. But see, it's very important, and why I see it as it as very important is because I've worked in financial institutions. I've worked in so many regulatory projects over there. Those regulations are very important to make your business a legit business. The customer base, the user base needs to trust it. At the same time, there needs to be a reputation that our company needs to make. Yeah, if I go and incorporate a company in offshore location, the reputation is not exactly the same for a company which is regulated in the UK.
And I suppose if you've gone down the journey of having to get authorization, doing it in the UK, which is a very legitimate jurisdiction, that gives you the credibility. And I suppose customers will have confidence that you've been through that whole process.
And it is very important. So that is the reason I'm not here for a sprint. I'm here for the marathon. And the reason why we named it as fan coin, we could have named it as football coin, just because we want to venture out into other industries as well, like films, music, cricket, basketball. Even individuals have fans. Yeah. So this whole fan coin thing is going to create a bigger ecosystem, but one step at a time. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. And that is the reason creating that value on our business, on our product is very important than creating that valuation.
So the value's in the platform, the app. It's not necessarily there is value in the coin, but that's not where all of it is.
Well, see, there is value to the coin. It's trading at half a penny today. Yeah. So there is value. There is tangible value to it. But at the same time, you give value back to the users. You give value back to the fans. I'll give you one more example. Let's say you go and post something on Instagram. You go and post something on Twitter or TikTok or Facebook, any platform. You don't get anything out there. Plus, your content is lost in the plethora of content there. There is nothing like viral these days. You have to make things viral. You have to spend a lot of time, efforts, sometimes money. All these platforms, they give you boosting options. You post something, you boost this post. Why? They need money. Yeah. So there's nothing like viral. You don't get anything out there when you post something over there on those platforms. We are changing that paradigm. It will take time. As I said earlier, any change of habit takes time, but people change it. People were driving diesel cars, petrol cars. Now they are driving electric cars. It takes time to change habit, but people change habits. People were using landline phones, mobile phones, the big phones, now smartphones, very sophisticated phones. It takes time to change habit. So what I'm trying to say is that on our platform, you get instantly incentivized with FanCoin, and with that FanCoin, we are creating an ecosystem. But for us, FanCoin is just an addition to the whole jigsaw. So that we have created. Our platform is the most important thing for us.
So what's the uptake been like for the platform and for the coin?
So far we've got over 250,000 downloads of our app on iOS and Android in both. And we have over 135,000 plus registered users, over 50 million fan coins, over 50 million engagements, active engagements have happened on the app. We have distributed close to 2 million fan coin to our community on the app itself. 48,000 users are active on a daily basis, doing various different things. There is gaming as well on the app, so they can play various games, collect fan coin. We are introducing more and more games which are around fan coin. So that's the kind of traction we have got. There's still a lot to do. We are seeing a lot of uptake from various different geographies as well.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. What jurisdiction contains most of your base?
51% is UK based. Then we have got substantial from Africa, from Asia, from Europe as well.
So it's really spread. So a lot of it is UK, and then the rest of it is massively spread.
Yes. Because we haven't done any marketing or anything outside UK as of now.
That's what I was going to ask. How are you doing marketing?
So we did a lot of different things. Again, it's an experiment that we do every now and then.
You were at the World Cup, didn't you, recently?
I was there. We were there at FIFA World Cup. But the most important thing that helped us was the TV advertising. So we did TV ads last year. We started from Boxing Day onwards, because Boxing Day is an important day to football calendar. So we started from Boxing Day onwards up to February of 2022.
Where were you advertising?
Sky Sports, PT Sport, MTV, various different millennial music channels, etc. Amazing. I mean, that gave us a lot of traction. We do a lot of work with grassroots clubs. We work with various different. We don't do much on social media. Because we have realized that social media, there is a lot of wastage. So we don't do much. I'll come on to that point a little later. But we don't do much on social media. Though we do posts and all, but we don't do paid ads, those kind of things on social media. We use various different techniques as well for paid advertising. This was just to learn, just to experiment on various different geographies.
And the TV ads have been the best?
TV ads, we did two campaigns at stadiums as well. So we did one at Arsenal Stadium. We did one at Tottenham's new stadium. So we interacted with so many fans over there. We had a van doing rounds from the tube station to Arsenal Stadium, similarly on Tottenham Stadium as well.
Did you get was there a direct correlation between people signing up and those specific?
Yes. So we do.
You do that in different jurisdictions as well, then the user base will grow.
Yes. So see, one of the most important thing that you need to learn. So if there was a formula for any marketing, everybody would have picked up that
Everyone
formula.
would do it.
Will do it. So you need to learn. You need to adapt. You need to understand the user, the customer. And the reason is because you can't impose yourself on any user. You learn their behavior. You give them what they are looking for. So that is the reason I say that it is a learning process. We do a lot of PR activity as well. So there are a lot of different things that we have done, and we know what works, what doesn't work, and sometimes it's return on investment. So
well, you have to try, don't you? I was going to ask you about some of the strategic partnerships, because I believe that there have been some strategic partnerships that you've developed. Can you tell us a little about who those partners are and how that's benefited you?
Yes. So we have different types of partners. So we have got merchandise partners. So there's a big supplier who supplies to all the football clubs.
And that makes it easier to try and strike a deal, right? Instead of going to all the different clubs, you go to the one person.
It's very difficult to go to individual clubs. As I said, there are 600 clubs. Though we don't have 600 clubs as merchandise on the app, but we have started. So we have onboarded them. They are one of the biggest companies in the world. So they are there. Then we have partnered with another aggregator of various different brands like Apple, Samsung, Nike, Adidas.
Right.
So that is the reason we have got 200 brands on the app.
Again, all you have to do is speak to one person and you get access to that.
Exactly.
Okay.
So if you go to individual, I mean, it'll take ages to do that. And trying to make people understand what we are doing, it's always tough. There is a lot of education that you have to do. So that has helped in a way. Then we have got NFT partners as well. So we have partnered with a lot of publishers who have got some amazing content. Though we haven't launched their NFTs at the moment, we are still learning how users behave on our NFT marketplace and those things, because we want to give value back to the users at the same time to our partners as well. There is no need to rush.
Yeah, and I see that because people, I certainly know some big exchanges, they try and sort of flog to some extent some sports memorabilia or some NFTs. I know that there has been a market for them. I know sort of back in the day, there was NBA collectibles that sort of took off. But is there a big appetite for NFTs in terms of sports?
There is definitely big appetite.
Yeah. What do those NFTs look like? Is it footage? Is it something brand new? What is it?
There are artists everywhere. And I'll tell you something. There are some stats that sports fans are twice likely to buy any digital asset compared to a non-sports person.
So you're more likely to get a sale in sports than you would like fine art, potentially.
Fine art, it's a very niche area.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, not everybody is into fine arts. There are very niche, and people would buy like high value fine art. Mm-hmm. But in sports, there are more sports fans around the world than fine art people. So there are 2 times more likely to buy a digital asset. Now, what kind of assets will they be interested in buying?
Yeah.
When it comes to official assets, let's say the Gareth Southgate's penalty that he missed in Euros, that's a very good asset, for someone. But who owns the rights for that?
Well, that's an IP issue, right? Because you have the broadcaster will have the intellectual property rights,
exactly,
the copyright over it.
Exactly.
But then the NFT would be a copy of that, and you need to make sure that
exactly
the licenses are correct and the permissions are correct. Yeah. So do people want to buy, I suppose, what is an NFT version of some old footage?
Yeah.
Because what rights does it bring?
Yeah. So that IP is very important, that who owns those rights. So whoever owns the rights can convert it into NFT and can trade it. Someone will be interested in buying something. Now, what is the value of that? Yes, I can
market.
I can brag that I have the official footage with me. I am the official owner of it. Yes, that's fine. Where can I use it? Probably to show it to my friends, family, and things like that. There are some very, very interesting use cases as well. Let's say, if you remember, there was a kid whose finger was bitten or something, and that video became viral.
Oh yeah. That was Charlie bit my finger.
Charlie bit my finger. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Thanks for that. So I wasn't able to remember what it was called.
Don't worry.
So that was sold, I think, at a very obnoxious price as an NFT.
Right? Was it? Okay.
Yes, and let's say some media house wants to use it somewhere, they can buy it to use it somewhere. So there are some very good use cases that can be done.
But if that NFT owns all the copyright in the original footage, it depends on how the IP is held. But if you create an NFT and then transfer as part of that NFT the IP rights, then yes, that's a great way to do it.
See, at the same time, you will find that video all over the internet. So unofficially, you can use that, right? Until somebody comes and says, okay, hang on, I own the rights for this particular video.
Depends who owns the rights.
Yeah.
But exactly right. If you end up selling NFTs to your users, then I guess one of the big questions is, and this is something that's going on in the industry at the moment, is what copyrights, what intellectual property rights transfer. It may be that people are just very happy to have a version of some particular footage that is just an NFT, or they may want all of the exclusive copyrights.
Yeah.
Depends.
But see, this debate is not only restricted to NFTs. This debate goes on for any intellectual property that is created in the world so far, with films, with any video commercial or whatever, with even paintings. So it's a common debate, not only restricted to NFTs.
100%. I think it just happens to sort of fit around NFTs at the moment because people don't necessarily know that there are different types of NFTs, and you can have ones where intellectual property transfers or doesn't.
Yes. So if you look at social media platforms, you can get any sort of content over there. Let's say or even on internet. You can get any sort of content. But is that official? Yeah. Some countries, like for example, UK is very much into intellectual properties, but not every country has strict rules around those intellectual properties.
So you've got to find a way to ensure that the NFTs that you will sell are relevant to your user base.
Relevant to your user base. It needs to create some value. It can't be those bored apes kind of. I don't want to have, or maybe I'm old. The youngsters may need a bored ape or yacht club or whatever.
We'll have to get someone on to tell us what exactly they are and all the values that they have,
and what are they doing with it. So that's the most important thing. So you buy an NFT, what are you doing with it? So I buy a painting today from somewhere, and then I'll put it in my lounge or somewhere.
Yeah.
So there is some utility to it. Yeah.
That's a whole other conversation.
Yeah. But interestingly, I was speaking with my son. He's the older one is 13 years old, and I was trying to understand. He's an Eden Hazard fan. So I asked him that, okay, if I give you an Eden Hazard poster to put it in your room, or if I give you a digital version, what would you prefer? So he said, Dad, I would like the digital version. So I asked him why. So he said, see, I can share it with my friends. I can use it wherever I want. And if I want to take a print of it, I can take a print and make a poster of it and stick it to the wall. So it has more utility compared to a physical stuff. So, which I took his point actually, and
that's a pretty fair point.
And this is very honest conversation, by the way. I'm not making up. This is the conversation I had with him, because he has got loads of posters in the room, and so that was one of the things that I asked him. So, and 13 is something, they've started using mobile phones. Things. It's not, I'm talking to an 8-year-old.
So where do you see the point whereby football, let's just say sports for the meantime, sports and the metaverse properly cross over? Because we have lots of conversations in newspapers and interviews and conferences about when the sports world gets into the metaverse and how they interact. How will they interact in your opinion?
So I'll take first example here of NFTs, for example. Yeah. And then we'll talk about metaverse. And I'll give you my very honest opinion on metaverse.
Please.
So NFTs are going to stay, but it needs to have some strong utility behind it. At the same time, as we said, what do you want to do with this NFT that I have collected as a digital collectible? What can I do with it? At the same time, the brands, the clubs needs to understand that it's not something quick. Yeah, I understand from clubs' perspective, they are always under pressure to generate revenue from all possible channels. But this is not something for quick buck. Fans are very important. Without fans, we have seen during COVID, it was not interesting to watch the matches on the television. Fans are very important to create that atmosphere. Let's try to help fans. Let's try to educate them. Let's try to, educate them on this new digital collectibles. There are new things that comes up every now and then. There is an education for every new thing. So let's try to educate them. Let's tell them the benefit of it. Yeah, it's not just a Bored Ape yacht club or something.
A picture
like
of something and you keep it in your hard drive and
yeah, exactly. So let's try to educate them. And from brand's perspective, it's not a shortcut. Work on it on longer term and how they can help the fans, how they can create new revenue streams from it. From the metaverse perspective, my opinion is that, especially the sports metaverse, yeah. I don't know whether you've seen recent articles written on Mark Zuckerberg has pulled off his investment.
Yeah, there's about 4 people or something attended a meeting in Facebook metaverse.
Yeah, and they are trying to stop their investment. They've already invested hundreds of billions into metaverse. They changed the company name to Meta Platforms and all those things. They are pulling it off, but that's their decision. I'll give you my opinion.
Sure.
When it comes to sports, why do you love sports? It's the excitement. It's the emotions.
The drama, right?
The drama.
Yeah.
It's not. I'm not talking about the television. I'm talking about the real life experience. Why do people go to FIFA World Cup? Yeah. Why do people go to watch every game to your local club or even grassroots clubs? Because there is an excitement. There is an energy that is going on. There is a preparation that goes around it. Yeah. Pre, during, and post game. Yeah. If you are trying to replicate that in a metaverse, you will never be able to do that, number one. Number two, don't create sports metaverse. Yes, a lot of companies are trying to do that. Please don't take that away from our children, from our younger audience. Let them experience that. Let them be part of that. Don't make them, couch potato. Yeah, don't give them big headsets or glasses or whatever. That can be used as an experience, one-off experience, or it can be a parallel experience as well. But don't try to push these things on the youngsters. Let them experience these things. Yeah. Otherwise, we are ruining our generations with that. Yes, I understand people are making claims that someone sitting in Africa wants to have an experience of watching Merseyside Derby. Okay, that's fine, but let him make some effort to take a visa, come to the UK, go to Liverpool, yeah, experience that real life. That is more important, which will stay with him for the rest of his life, rather than giving him a headset, wearing it. Okay, I'm seeing this side. That is the cop end. This is that. What's the experience?
But surely it gives people access to something that they might not have access to or never be able to have access to.
So it can be parallel. It can work in parallel, but
so long as it's not exclusively,
real life experience is real life experience.
So keep the real life stadiums, keep the real life everything. Let them play physically, and if people want to join via the metaverse to be part of that experience, fine.
Yeah, but at the end of it, as you said, the drama, so I went to Qatar to watch the World Cup. So I'm booking my tickets, I'm booking my flights, I'm booking my stay, then I'm, preparing myself. What time is the game? Let's get ready, the right shirts, right things, right gear. We are packing food, drinks, whatever. Then the travel to the stadium. Then you see the stadium, then you see people, then you meet so many different people, from all parts of the world.
I suppose you would miss all that in the metaverse because there is a different environment.
Why? I mean, spend that money somewhere else. Make metaverse, but spend that money somewhere else. Use it in healthcare. Yeah, use it in things that helps the community. You use that money elsewhere where it helps the generations. This is, in my opinion, that's again my opinion, by the way. Yeah, I would love to create a metaverse. Yeah, it's not like technically I can't create it. I can do that, but you are ruining your generations. I don't want my children to wear those headsets and experience a Chelsea game, then going to the stadium to Stamford Bridge. It's a different experience.
I think that's fair enough. And on that note, I just want to thank you very much for coming down.
Pleasure is all mine.
This podcast does not contain any financial or legal advice, and you should not seek to rely on it as such. Opinions are the individual's own. This podcast was produced and edited by Joe Hawkins and music by Luke Carey. Thank you for listening and see you next time.